So today I really want to talk about body positivity, and I think everyone kind of has a different definition of what that means, but I think classically when people think body positivity, especially when it comes to social media like Instagram, it's kind of like you see women posing in their bathing suits and they're happy and they say you need to accept your body, love your body the way it is, and then they hashtag body positivity underneath that. And like, that's great, that's good, that's a positive movement for sure. But I've been doing some more research. Okay, and when I say research, I don't mean like in a lab with like a microscope. I mean like reading other people's posts on Instagram, interacting with other people, especially those with marginalized bodies, and seeing how they feel about this whole body positivity movement. And so from what I'm gathering, it seems as if body positivity was started for fat people. Fat people, people with marginalized bodies, so disabled bodies, people of color, LGBTQ2S+, right? If you're like transgender, those things that are like traditionally marginalized by society. And I've been scrolling through the Instagram lately, looking at the body positive hashtag or just on my own feed, and I see a lot of thin, beautiful women, mostly white women, blonde hair, like the idealized perfect, right? Like the Barbie kind of appearance that we all strive for. And they're talking about body positivity, and there's a picture of them like bent over with like a tummy roll or maybe like a stretch mark on their thigh or whatever, and they say like love yourself and accept your body. And I'm like, yeah, like you should love yourself and accept your body, and I support that wholeheartedly. But I get a little worried that maybe saying that's body positivity kind of takes away from the larger movement of helping marginalized bodies become more visible in society and in the media. And yeah, like it's so much more than just saying like, oh yeah, I can accept that I have stretch marks on my body. Like, that's amazing. Like, yes, that's so natural. But when it's like a movement for fat people, especially fat women, and I use this term in like an empowering sense, like for me, I don't really use that for myself. I've never found it empowering, but I know a lot of women do. So you could say plus size people, fat people. It's also discrimination, because how many times have you walked into a store with your friends and they're all picking out these cute outfits and the largest size is like still like way too small and you know you can't fit into it? I have my entire life, I have had that feeling of, oh, like something's wrong with me and my body. Like, why am I like this? I need to lose weight. I'll be prettier, I'll be happier, I'll have a boyfriend, I'll have friends, I'll, you know, all these things that you're just constantly reminded of, that you are not good enough the way you are because of the size of your body. So it's so much more than going into a store and be like, oh, I don't really love this style, how it looks on me. It's like, I literally cannot put it on my body. Like middle school days, Hollister, Abercrombie and Fitch, those horrible, horrible brands that make you feel like you need to be this big or you're not cool. And I remember trying to like squeeze into a sweater so I could be cool like everyone else, and feeling just horrible, just absolutely horrible about myself. And especially in the healthcare system, if a fat person goes to a doctor and says like, I'm having heart problems, I'm having trouble breathing, guess what the doctor's going to say most of the time? Like, oh, you should just exercise, lose some weight, you'll be fine, right? But if a thin person came into the doctor with the same problems, they're not gonna say, oh, you need to go lose weight, oh, you should just exercise, and dismiss you. They're gonna say, okay, you know what, let's do like a heart scan or like a heart thing to your heart. I don't know what you do to your heart, like the things, okay? And like, do all these tests to make sure you're okay, but fat people are not taken seriously because the size of their body. And you cannot look at someone and see if they're healthy or not. Like right now I'm not healthy, but you can't look at me and see that. It's because of my mental health has been so bad. And I'm like, I am working on it. And I look the same now than I did 5 months ago. And 5 months ago, I was horrible. Like not eating right, not taking care of my body or my mind. And now I am so much better, but I look the same. So how could you just can't tell. And if you could tell, if you could look at someone and say that person is not healthy, why is it your business? Would you say that to someone with a chronic illness? Would you say that to someone with diabetes or Crohn's? Like, oh my God, you're so unhealthy. No, like, I don't even know why that's an argument on the internet, is someone's health. That's ridiculous. So bringing everything back in to my original point about what body positivity really is, there's just so much behind it that I feel like we're not actually talking about. And instead it's just these beautiful, I think all these women are beautiful, thinny, oh my God, skinny, fat, thin, the whole works. Everyone's gorgeous in their own way. But when you see these women that can like bend over, be like, oh, here's my one little stomach roll, haha, and then stand up straight, fit into their clothing that they never have trouble buying because they can go to any store ever and find clothing, and they can just continue on in life and have their body praised and admired. They can go about the rest of their life not worrying about their body as much. Like, yes, we all do that, but you may not be discriminated against because of your body or made to feel like you're less than because of the size of your body. So I don't want to tear it down like, oh, no one can talk about body positivity unless you're fat or you have a disabled body or you're a person of color. I just feel like maybe acknowledge your privilege. Like, I have that privilege too. I am a white, able-bodied woman. I have massive privilege to speak about body positivity or really anything because I'm able to. I have a nice phone that can take videos, and I'm just in a place where I can do that. My culture doesn't stop me. It's not stigmatized like it might be in other cultures. I just think all women, men, women, non-binaries, just acknowledge your privilege and be like, okay, like, I can learn to love my body and my one roll and my one stretch mark, and I can encourage other people to do the same, but I need to acknowledge that there's so much more to this movement. There's so many other people in the world that need the visibility more than me, you know? So I would really love if we could start having those conversations and share more photos of more bodies and more body types and shapes and sizes and colors, and just make it freaking normalized, you know? So when you see someone with like a disabled body, you're not gonna be weirded out. You're not gonna think twice. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, look, another body. Cool. I think that's really all I have to say. Yeah, I don't want to get into like eating disorders because I'm not a professional in that subject, and anyone can have an eating disorder, big, small, thin, fat. So that's also not something to discriminate against, because I know a lot of these women are recovering from an eating disorder or have recovered, and that's why they're speaking up, which is still very, very valuable. Let's all just try to check our privilege a little bit, okay? Thanks for listening.